Everyone told me I was lucky. I married the kind of man people dream about. Kind, responsible, steady. My friends envied me. My parents adored him. Strangers would compliment us, saying, "He's such a good man." And yet, lying next to him every night, I felt like I was disappearing. This is the story of how I married a good man and ended up lonelier than I ever imagined. If you've ever felt invisible in your own relationship or wondered why something perfect on the outside can feel so empty on the inside, stick around. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Because today, I'm telling a story that almost no one dares to admit. I met Daniel at a summer barbecue. It was one of those humid evenings where the sky glowed pink and the air smelled like charcoal and laughter. He wasn't the loudest guy in the group. He wasn't flashy or the life of the party, but he was steady. He held doors open, remembered people's names, and listened without interrupting. After years of dating men who treated me like an option, his quiet attentiveness felt like safety. He didn't text back 3 days later. He texted back in minutes. He didn't flirt with other women in front of me. He focused only on me. My friends said, "Finally, you found a real man." And my parents? Oh, they adored him. My mother called him a good catch, and my father praised his work ethic. Everyone told me I was lucky, and maybe I was. When he proposed, I didn't hesitate. Our wedding was simple, beautiful. People whispered, "She's got it all. A good man, a stable life." For the first few months, I believed it. I told myself I had found peace, but peace slowly turned into silence, and silence slowly turned into isolation. At first, his quiet nature didn't bother me. I thought, he's just reserved. I can be the talker. But over time, the silences started to weigh on me. Dinner conversations became one-sided. I'd tell him about my day, my thoughts, my fears, and he'd nod, smile, maybe say, "That's nice." No follow-up questions, no spark of curiosity, no shared laughter that lingered. One evening, I tried to tell him about a project at work that I was really proud of. My heart was racing as I described how I solved a big problem and got recognized by my boss. When I finished, he looked up from his plate, smiled politely, and said, "Good job." That was it. And in that moment, my excitement dissolved into emptiness. I remember going to bed that night, lying beside him, staring at the ceiling while his steady breathing filled the room. And I thought, how can I be married to a good man and still feel this alone? The loneliness crept in slowly, like water seeping through cracks. We stopped going out. I stopped inviting him to events because I knew he'd rather stay home. I started spending more time with my friends, craving connection. But here's the worst part. Whenever I tried to talk to him about how I felt, he shut down. I'd say, "I feel like we don't talk anymore." He'd reply, "We're fine. Not everything has to be words." I'd say, "I feel disconnected." He'd reply, "You're overthinking. We're solid." To him, silence meant stability. To me, silence meant isolation. And every time he dismissed my feelings, a little piece of me disappeared. The breaking point came one rainy Saturday afternoon. I was sitting on the couch, reading, when I realized I hadn't had a real conversation with my husband in weeks. Weeks. I put my book down, turned to him, and asked, "Daniel, do you even know me? Really know me?" He looked at me, puzzled. "Of course I know you. You're my wife." But the truth was, he knew my schedule, my habits, my favorite meals. He didn't know my heart anymore. Tears welled in my eyes. "I'm so lonely, Daniel. I feel invisible in this marriage." He frowned, clearly hurt. but I'm a good husband. I provide. I don't cheat. I don't yell. Isn't that enough? And that's when I realized the cruel truth. He thought goodness was enough. But goodness without connection is just emptiness. That night, I lay awake again, but instead of staring at the ceiling, I stared at the truth. You can marry a good man and still feel isolated. You can have stability and still ache for intimacy. You can be loved, but not seen. I realized I had two choices. Stay in this quiet prison, slowly fading away, or fight for a marriage that wasn't just good on paper, but alive in reality. So I chose to fight. The next morning, I sat Daniel down. Listen, I said, voice trembling. I know you're a good man. Everyone knows that. But I don't need just a good man. I need a partner. Someone who knows me, talks with me, dreams with me. I'm drowning in loneliness here, and I can't keep pretending everything's fine. For the first time, I saw fear in his eyes. He didn't have all the answers. He didn't magically change overnight, but for the first time, he listened, really listened, and that was the beginning. We started therapy. We practiced small conversations. I told him my dreams. He told me his fears. It wasn't easy. It still isn't. But step by step, we began to replace silence with connection. Looking back, here's what I've learned. A good man isn't always the same as the right partner. Marriage isn't just about loyalty or stability. It's about connection. Loneliness inside a relationship is heavier than loneliness outside of one. And if you feel unseen in your relationship, you're not crazy and you're not ungrateful. You're human. So that's my story. I married a good man, but it took nearly losing myself to realize that being good isn't enough. Relationships need depth, not just stability. If this story resonated with you, let me know in the comments. Have you ever felt alone in love? Share your thoughts. You never know who might need to hear them. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more stories, and share this with someone who might be struggling silently, because no one should feel invisible in their own marriage.